Hey guys, it's Dave again from GuitarBreakdown.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about Guthrie Govan's Bad Asteroid. That always cracks me up because it sounds like I'm saying his uh, big hemorrhoid. That's so dumb. Oh. I can't get through this. Okay, let's get it on. Come on. uh, this big hemorrhoid. Oh, come on. Hey guys, it's Dave again from GuitarBreakdown.com, and today I'm going to talk about Guthrie Govan's Bad Asteriod. Stop. Hey guys, it's Dave again from GuitarBreakdown.com, and today we're going to talk about Guthrie Govan's Bad Asteriod. His song Bad Asteriod. Every time I say that, it sounds like I'm going to say big hemorrhoid. I don't know why that's funny to me. Anyway, on a serious note, you guys have there's been a lot of requests for this one, and I first want to thank you guys for all your comments and posts and all that kind of stuff. We really enjoy doing this. This is fun for us actually, and it's great to have you guys comment, and we're meeting a lot of cool people. And you guys, your participation in this is really helping motivate us to continue doing this. It's making it a lot more fun. I mean, it was already fun, but it makes it a lot of fun talking to y'all. So anyway, this is basically the jazzy kind of clean tone section, chromatic-y kind of thing he does in the middle of the song. This is some of my favorite stuff of his. If you can't tell by most of the stuff that I've transcribed of his, it's generally been like the chromatic, cleaner tone kind of thing. I mean, I love the finger tapping and all the crazy licks he does and all the speed picking, and but for me, I really kind of lean towards a cleaner, slightly broken up tone. And those jazz kind of licks, melodic kind of things really hook my ear. So this one was an easy choice for me out of all the requests I've had to transcribe this one. I've been looking forward to this actually, so I hope you guys are too. I'll try and make it rather quick. It'll probably be a 2-part lesson, maybe a 3-part lesson, and we'll break out into the. When I transcribed this, there were a few ways. It took me a good minute to figure this out because there are about 4 or 5 ways you can play certain things, and some are easier than others, but there's one part that it's kind of weird, and I play it a certain way based on the other things I've seen Guthrie play. I think he would play it this way, but we'll get into all that, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. The beginning of the whole thing actually starts in F sharp, and as I've said a million times before, I look at everything pretty much in pentatonics for the most part, arpeggios, pentatonic, that kind of thing, and this is no different. So it starts out, if you look at everything in an F sharp minor pentatonic scale, this starts on the 19th fret. I'll go over some of the notes basically. So it starts on the 4th of F sharp, a B note, and it slides down. It goes down chromatically. It picks the first note. So this is on the E string. You pick the first note, and then you pick the second note and pull off the next 3 notes or 2 notes. So it's 19, 18, 17, 16. But you pick the first one, and then you pull off the next 2. Then you go down to the B string and you do this. You do the same series of frets, 19, 18, 17, 16, but you pick those. So it's and it's really like an eighth note with 16th note triplets. And then everything else is 16th notes, pretty much. And again, a good way to practice this is with a metronome. I mean, I really had to take my time with this one and really try and lock in those beats. And even, I think, in the performance, I was a little bit ahead and behind at certain points. It's just, it takes time to really... And then just work that slow and just speed that up. Anyway, so after that part, it goes back up to that B note on the E string, the 19th fret. Then it goes down here to the 13th fret, or the 14th fret on the B string. And then it goes to the G string, again, a 4-note in a row kind of thing, from 17, 16, 15, 14 on the G string. So it's basically with this note in there and this note in there. So and if you look at that again, that outlines the pentatonic scale. It gives you that flat 5 with the major third in the middle. And I use my, again, I do a lot of chicken picking, so I pluck that note with my middle finger. Anyway, then it goes into a C-sharp minor arpeggio. So that's the 16th fret on the A string, the 14th fret on the D string, and the 13th fret on the G string, and then you slide down to the 12th fret. So it's... Then it walks down a scale on the D string from the 16, 14, 12, and slides up to the 13th fret. So... And it doesn't actually slide up. He picks that note, but he moves his first finger, or at least for me, I move my first finger up. And again, this could be played a million different ways, and I'm going to get into a few of the different ways. I'm not necessarily sure. When I try and figure these things out, I try and figure out the easiest, most economical kind of way to do this for myself. What fingerings feel comfortable. I also try and listen to if something's being played like on higher strings or lower strings, you hear the thickness of the string. It doesn't sound as like high pitch kind of thing. So I take that into consideration, but at the end of the day, I play what's most comfortable for myself. Anyway, so after it goes up that arpeggio and up that scale, it slides up from the 12 to 13 on the D string, and then you play the 16th fret on that D string, and then it walks down a chromatic. So it's from the 14th fret, 13, 12 on the A string, and again I play that with my second finger, first finger, and I slide down. I still pick it, but I move my finger down from 13 to 12. And if you look at all that, that's all basically the second, I'm sorry, the third, the major third, and the fourth of that pentatonic scale. So it's, and then it goes up to this major sixth, the 13th fret on the D string. And what's cool about that is tritones are very cool, like sharp, going up from, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, sharp 5, and playing the root and or the first note and the sharp 5. It just gives a lot of tension. So it's, if you hear this sixth note, it doesn't sound that tense. there's nothing special about it, but when you play it off of those two notes, it just sounds different and it gives you that tension. So the whole thing is. Then after that, it goes down to the 11, 10, 9 on the A string. So there's a whole theory on the chromaticism and how to go about it. We'll get into it eventually, hopefully, a whole lesson on this kind of thing. But you can approach, when you're trying to hit a certain note, you can approach, if you're thinking chromatically, you can hit it from a half step above or a half step below, a whole step below, a whole step above. You could do a half step above, then a whole step below. And I mean, there's just a whole bunch of ways to think about it. And so a brief sample of this, if you're trying to target this E note and you're thinking pentatonic, well, instead of just having that, or all based out of the pentatonic, you can start thinking chromatically. So you can approach it, say, from a half step above, or a half step below. Or you could do a half step above and a half step below. Or you could do a half step above, whole step below. Right? And that's where you start getting the... So now that one was a half step above, going down, then going to the note, and then going down. So you're taking that pattern down there. So again, we'll get into a million different variations of that, and that's how you start coming up with these chromatic lines. I mean, there's not a lot to it. I mean, you're working scales and arpeggios, and you're thinking about chord tones, and then you're throwing in all the other notes that aren't in there. But you can randomly do it, but it's better. It ends up sounding a little better when you actually have purpose to it, and you do it convincingly, obviously.